So I have been a practicing social worker for the past 20 years. And the area of social work practice that I focus on, so I'm private practice clinical in the area of mental health, but I am also a forensic social worker. So I combine both the law as well as social work practice in my everyday practice because I'm also a practicing lawyer. So I, for the past 20 years, have been doing a concurrent practice as a social worker and also as a lawyer in working with marginalized communities and populations. So right now, my role is as the executive director of the African Nova Scotian Justice Institute. And that institute has three pillars. One is legal services, the other is forensic assessment and treatment, and the other is community engagement and initiatives. So in my role as a multidisciplinary lawyer and social worker, I bring together all of those pillars with that lens. So the legal lens, to be able to work on behalf of the Black community here in Nova Scotia in terms of addressing issues that are around systemic racism, anti-Black racism, in terms of my social work lens and as a forensic social worker. Then I'm looking at the IRCAs, the impact of race and culture assessments, which are used right across Canada now as a sentencing mitigating tool for all Black Canadians in this country. And then in terms of combining that, because as social workers, we're change makers and we're engaged in the community. So that's the third pillar that happens here, where the work is being done out in the community, looking at policy development, policy changes. And our organization here is focused not only locally, but also nationally on all of the systemic issues that impact Black Canadians across the board. So, and those falling on those three pillars. So it's been pretty exciting, lots of work, and just moving forward with various campaigns and initiatives in terms of now looking at creating a national IRCA center. In addition to taking cases, we've had a case recently where we were the interveners at the Supreme Court of Canada on the issue of enhanced pre-sentence reports, which come out of Ontario, which are similar to the IRCAs here in Nova Scotia. So we were intervener in that Supreme Court of Canada case, and we're just waiting to hear the results now. So at the African Nova Scotian Justice Institute, my role as executive director, we combine the social work as well as the law in moving forward issues on behalf of Black Canadians and Black Nova Scotians. So I'm hoping that the future of social work is going to really take a deep dive and look at forensic social work practice. So I'm currently doing my PhD at Memorial University in forensic social work education. Because I'm hoping that as a result of my research, the universities or schools of social work across the country will take a closer look at the core competencies required even at the undergraduate level to say, having that core competency around understanding the law in social work practice is really significant for the work that we do in policy, social justice work, child protection. It's all somehow connected to the law. So I'd like to see more of an emphasis at our schools of social work on the forensic training as social workers, generalist forensic training, because of course at the master's level, forensic also often refers to forensic assessment, but I'm thinking more in terms of generalist forensic social work practice. I think that basically as social workers, again, I always think of us as change makers, and our field has become so broad, and folks often ask me, well, why is it that you do the law and social work? And I say, just stop and think about social work is the one profession that sort of taps into all other professions where we become the support in terms of engagement, in terms of policy development. And we can see that work now that we're doing as social workers advancing into the upper areas or the board tables, so to speak, around policy development, legislative changes, and so on. So we're having a major impact as social workers, and I hope we just keep moving forward. So, and I'm proud to be a social worker, very proud.